Welcome to www.harvestfresh.com.au. Delivering great value for our customers. We source your product from growers on a daily basis, ensuring you receive only the freshest produce. In most cases we will have the produce from the grower to our customer within 24 hours. Quality control: we are HACCP certified for the procurement, receival, storage, wholesale and distribution of fresh produce for more than 8 years. We transport in our own refrigerated NSW Food Authority trucks on a daily basis. This ensures our deliveries are 100% managed by our team. Market update: our services include our weekly market update identifying general seasonal trends and product availability. We also provide a targeted market update for our customers, identifying further quality and cost opportunities based on their individual product specifications. Standards: high-quality products coupled with professional customer service standards are the cornerstones of our business relationships. This standard is benefiting our existing clients from airlines, restaurants, hotels and catering companies. Micro-herbs range. Micro-herbs have become very popular over recent years and have become a mandatory inclusion in dishes authored by the world's best chefs. In dishes where fat and salt have been reduced, flavor can easily be enhanced with these fresh micro-herbs. A micro-herb, also referred to as a microgreen, is a tiny vegetable green that is used both as a visual and flavor component or ingredient primarily in fine dining restaurants. They are generally used as garnish or as a small salad accompaniment on a plate. Technically they could be categorized as halfway between a sprout and a baby leaf, or a sprout where the second leaf has emerged. Micro-herbs have 3 basic parts: a central stem, cotyledon leaf or leaves, and typically the first pair of very young true leaves. They vary in size depending upon the specific variety grown, with a typical size being 25 mm to 38 mm in total length. When the green grows beyond this size, it should no longer be considered a micro-herb. Choosing the right supplier for your fruit and vegetable needs is more critical than ever as businesses fight for survival in today's difficult economic climate. Restaurants, hotels, pubs and other food outlets currently account for a staggering 1 million tons of food waste per annum for the country. With fruit and vegetables contributing a huge 40% of this waste mountain, it makes sense for retail food businesses to examine ways to reduce this cost burden in an industry which is under both market and margin pressure. The area for obvious focus is the supply chain. Whilst the food preparation industry prides itself on its ability to manage product once acquired and on the premises, a critical piece of the equation can often be overlooked in return for discounted supply and last-minute availability when buying fresh fruit and vegetables. A strong sourcing strategy is critical to ensuring that the produce arrives in the best possible condition for both preparation and service, and also, potentially, further storage on site. In order to minimize spoil, businesses need to ensure that their fruit and vegetable supplier is focused on delivering produce in its optimum condition. In support of this, you need to develop an understanding of their business practices across 3 key areas. Strength of relationship with growers: fresh food suppliers with a strong relationship with the grower/producer will generally be able to focus attention into quality straight from the field. Whilst the big buyers can apply quality and pricing pressure, those who invest their time in building great relationships will reap the rewards and of course be able to pass on the benefits to you, their customer. Depth of product knowledge: the depth of knowledge across the whole range of products and supply conditions is a key factor when assessing the capability of your fruit and vegetable supplier. Growing conditions, local or distant seasonal variations, transportation and logistical issues can all contribute to diminish the usable life of produce once it arrives at its end destination. With a clear understanding of these factors, a good supplier is able to make informed choices when planning and executing buys on your behalf, with both product freshness and economics in mind. Storage and distribution practices: the final link in the supply chain, wherein appropriate storage and transportation facilities and practices are even more important. As the food supplier moves into the final stage and the product becomes more susceptible to poor practices, this area is perhaps the easiest to check out. Spend time with your supplier, experience and understand their capabilities and practices and offer feedback. A good supplier will be happy to accept and act on it. Choosing the right supplier for your fruit and vegetable needs and placing the spotlight on freshness and longevity of produce will serve to reduce waste due to spoilage and ultimately have an impact on your business bottom line. Equally, it will also enable you to make more informed decisions given a clear understanding of the history as well as the unit price of your fruit and vegetables. Important considerations for choosing your supplier of wholesale fruit and vegetables. If you're running a hospitality venue, then it is imperative to have a good wholesale fruit and vegetable supplier. Appointing the right source for all your produce can reduce stress and make running your business a whole lot easier. There are 5 important factors you should consider: quality, freshness, convenience, backup support and easy approachability. Each of these points will be discussed below. Of prime importance when purchasing fruit and vegetables is to make sure that your quality is consistently good. In the fruit and vegetable industry, there is a lot of inferior stock that is often sold at first-grade prices. What can happen when this occurs is that the venue is given stock by a fruit and vegetable wholesaler that looks good to the naked eye but deteriorates rapidly over the next few days. If you don't immediately consume the stock, you can face excess wastage, which ultimately adds to your overall costs. This is very important in quiet times when venue traffic may be difficult to forecast. Unless you know that you are going to move the product straight away, it is better to have a higher grade of fruit and vegetables to ensure overall longevity of your produce. A factor that is of equal importance and is imperative to good quality is the freshness of the produce. A fruit and vegetable wholesaler that updates produce on a more frequent basis is more likely to have goods that are much fresher. Of course, your supplier still needs to make sure he is not purchasing old stock, but a good wholesaler that visits the market or receives new produce a few times a week is more likely to have a superior grade of product than a fruit and vegetable wholesaler that is lazy or only updates stock once or twice a week. Having your supplier deliver wholesale fruit and vegetables to your venue regularly is an incredible time and money saver. This allows you to do an audit of your stock every few days to ensure ongoing supply and regular stock rotation. It also allows you to schedule regular deliveries in accordance with your roster requirements and seasonal demands. For some venues that experience an increases in volume over the summer months, it is important to have a fruit and vegetable wholesaler that can provide you with what you need and when you want it to avoid wastage. No matter how well a venue plans, occasionally you can get into trouble with your produce needs. It may be a case of a forgotten order or an oversight whereby the senior staff members are sick or relevant personnel are scheduled on a roster days off. Whatever the situation may be, venues need to be able to know that they can put in a call and get an emergency delivery if an oversight occurs. A good supplier of wholesale fruit and vegetables understands that mistakes can occur and that venues need to be able to get backup support in cases of emergency. Make sure you select a reputable supplier if this is an important consideration, because some companies may not be able to offer you this assurance. A pleasant fruit and vegetable wholesaler not only makes doing business easier but can be a valuable source of information for your business success. Venues often need updates on market conditions or recommendations for menu design. Having a wholesaler that is easy to deal with can be a considerable asset in this regard. They can help you with alternatives, seasonal suggestions, and provide valuable insight into consumer trends, preferences, and tastes. When selecting your wholesaler, make sure that can work towards building a relationship with them. This can pay dividends over the long term and help make your job easier and more enjoyable. With the price of fruit and vegetables continually rising, nobody wants to waste money by throwing away food that has gone off or rotten. We started shopping at the local farmers markets to buy the freshest seasonal produce that we could find. With the markets being held every fortnight, we had to find ways to ensure that we had enough supplies to last until the next market, without wasting any of the food. To tackle this problem, we came up with some suggestions to make your fruit and vegetables last longer. How long your fruit and vegetables last will depend on your local climate to some extent. Commercially, we know that suppliers use all sorts of tricks to preserve fruits and vegetables, including freezing, gassing, and wax coating some produce. Whilst that may preserve the appearance, it does not do much for preserving the benefits of consuming fresh produce the way nature intended. 1. Make up a menu for the next fortnight, and only buy the food that you need. It's easy to make a list of fruit and vegetables that you might need, but by having meals planned, you'll ensure that you can have the right quantities of produce, and some of the things that you were thinking of buying can go on the list for the next shopping trip too. Correct selection of fruit and vegetables to last longer. Many stores allow for self-service, so that you can choose which fruits and vegetables are ripe now, or will ripen in a few days or even next week. Wild yellow bananas may look tempting to buy, the green ones that are not quite ripe will last longer and will ripen over time. Select some yellow to consume shortly, and some yellow-green, and other green bananas. Other vegetables fruits that ripen after picking include avocados, pears, apricots, peaches, plums, mangoes, honeydew melons, cantaloupes, and kiwis, can soften on the counter. 3. Storing fruit. Soft fruits do not last with a high moisture environment. We store our soft fruits like strawberries in a bed of paper towel placed in a sealed plastic container in the fridge. The paper absorbs any excess moisture, extending the life of the fruit. Apples, oranges, lemons and similar fruits can be kept on the countertop in a fruit bowl for the family to eat. We may store some in the fridge to keep them longer in the summer months during warmer weather. Be aware that apples and some other fruits give off gas called ethylene that speeds ripening in vegetables, so avoid putting them together with other fruits into the crisper drawers. 4. Storing vegetables. Some vegetables, like potatoes and onions, can be stored in a cool, dry place. Generally, vegetables stay fresh when kept in a moist environment like the crisper drawer of the refrigerator. We place broccoli in a sealed plastic container lined with paper towel to absorb excess moisture. We wash lettuce, dry it thoroughly and place in a easy sealed green vegetable bag to keep it fresh and ready to serve for sandwiches and salads. Again, we place paper towel in the bag to absorb the moisture and keep it crisp. If you haven't got a meal plan, then ensure that you keep your fruit and vegetables in easy sight, so when you open the refrigerator you see what's there, and hopefully that will remind you what you should be eating next. With a little planning, eat the produce that will spoil first, and work your way through the other produce as the week progresses. These are just a number of tips to make your fruit and vegetables last longer. Please visit our site to www.harvestfresh.com.au for more information on Fruit and Veg Suppliers Sydney.